What is up, everybody? I hope that you are enjoying your Thursday. Welcome to my thought corner. It's like a little pocket in my house that I just have for my blogging to talk to folks about the things that are happening in this crazy world. And the world is crazy. I've noticed that my content has been suppressed quite a bit. I do notice the racism of these platforms. They claim to be free speech and respectful of free speech, but really they're just trying to control speech, suppress speech because they want a narrative. They want to control a narrative about people, groups, and ideas. And a lot of these people are losing control. So they're going really heavy on the content suppression, especially if it's reasonable, independent voices that are talking against their machine. I noticed that when you are a voice that rages against the machine, if you will, they will suppress you, and then obviously they'll pretend like we're not doing that. We live in a throw rocks and hide your hand society. Truly. Truly, you know? And, it's almost like these people are training the kids to be like that too in school, where they're like, just let this kid bully you and don't do anything, right? And then they'll try to narrate the kids that do something about the bullies as being these aggressors. And it's just like, no, we're not going to do that. I'm actually dealing with that in my kids' school right now because my son, he went from literally tolerating people, having a milder temper, letting stuff slide. So this year, he's not letting anything slide. And so they've only been a month about into school, a month as of today into school, and I am constantly getting phone calls about my son. And it's really the environment of the school that he is disconnected from because schools operate like prisons. Literally. I was in the state of Indiana and I happened to pass the Indiana State Prison last week. And I'm like, boy, is that a school? They're like, no, that's the prison. They look just like they look just like schools. Schools look like prisons, right? They got playgrounds. Literally, they had playgrounds on the prison. It's like you can't tell me that these demons did not set up this system so that people will constantly feel some level of enslavement through a system, right? And they're not even teaching our kids anything these days. They're teaching them emotions and weird stuff. You know what I mean? Compliance. Do what you're told. So these teachers aren't reasoning with these kids. They're ordering them around. And that's a disconnect for my son because I don't parent like that. Like I do not parent like that. Like I tell my kid, okay, you want to jump off and do the Spider-Man thing off your bunk bed. Let me just tell you what the possible outcomes could be. Right? And I actually show my kids pictures and videos of kids who have done little weird things and they have maimed themselves for life. So I just put that scenario out there. My son usually moves on. He understands, okay, this could risk my life. Maybe I should abandon this jump. He doesn't do it all the times because he's still kind of wild, and I battle with letting him have his risk. High. He doesn't have a lot of risk tolerance right now. He has a very low risk tolerance, so he's just all in on the madness. And don't get him with the two little boys in the neighborhood who are just like him. And it feels like they're kind of the black sheeps of the neighborhood because, they're very male like. And it seems like to me, they get in trouble the most in school, but it's like they want these male children to be like emasculated almost like just do what you're told by all the women. And I don't think people realize how much of a disconnect school really is for a male child. It's not a natural environment for them to be in. It's like actually an emasculating environment for them to be in because for much of their lives, they are, if they're not dealing with their parents, they're dealing with a female teacher ordering them around, telling them what to do. And most of these teachers are feminists. They don't really care for men, therefore, they don't really care for masculine boys. And they do everything they can to try to emasculate them. So, as parents, you got to actually profile your kid's teacher and see, are you one of those emasculating feminists, or are you a woman that understands that boys are boys and they will be boys? And there's certain ways that you got to handle boys, reason with boys. Girls will be told what to do, right? You can give them all those emotions, right? Boys, you have to reason with them. And it was so funny. I was at the bus stop talking to another parent, and, I was like, you never know. You don't realize how much you learn about just people until you have your own kids and you start seeing their little personalities. And I've learned a lot about men just having a son. I understand, like, because again, I try to, let my kids be in their most natural states, without a whole lot of dictation. And it's like whatever they gravitate to is that's where they're gonna be. Like my son, he's a little lion, right? He loves his women. He loved his teacher last year because for some reason it's like if you get with him like mommy, but then you reinforce it, hey, I'm on your team, I love you, he will do good all year, right? But it's like if you're somebody who just want to flex on him, he's not going to respond to that. And I think a lot of little boys are like that. I this is my little rant, I guess, about the school system because I hate it, and I'll probably be pulling my son out specifically very soon because it's just not a good environment. I'm gonna see if I can find some Pan African or Nation of Islam school that will allow him to attend without me having to convert to all of that. Right? I just want your education. I don't want the other stuff. But I got to figure out what I'm going to do with my son. But this is an emasculating factor for me at this point. And so I don't think for young black men, these school systems are good for them. Right? And that's just my opinion. Right? And they're censoring my content. So very few people will even see this. But anyways, right? The white supremacists, they love coming out to play. They love coming out to play. Cardi being Offset, this lady. I guess she didn't like my comment about, shame on Offset for claiming he's a king and marrying that harlot. And she's like, shame on Cardi for marrying that community. And it's like, here's the thing. She was community with vagina before she married that man. All right. I mean, she talked about it herself. All right. These are two goofy people. Um, and hopefully they can at least mature enough for the children that they have. But these are two immature, narcissistic people, right? Cardi's fighting for her career right now. And, from what I understand, like if her and Offset get a divorce, right? She'd be the person I thought who would be paying alimony. I thought that was the scenario for her. Um, but off of that, I mean, these people are ridiculous. They're sad. And, we just pray that people come to reason and get out of Satan's world and come to repentance because they both act like demons. Check out that Umar video. Really good content there this morning. And I'm just going to leave it at this, Hey, people act like it is unheard of for black men to be set up for white collar men's crimes. There are several instances in the United States history where white collar men who were cheating on their wives wanted to divorce her but did not want to split their assets with her, right? The idea of just splitting everything with her or starting over sometimes. These men don't want to do that, so killing her is always going to be the easier route for some of these people because they're wicked, they're selfish narcissists, right? But it is not, completely not unheard of for these types of men to knock off their wives and blame it on black men. And I'm just going to leave it there. You guys have a wonderful day. Bye.